BackBeat is proudly sponsored by Santa Barbara Bowls Education Outreach. Welcome to BackBeat, a show highlighting people that make a difference using music in our very own community. I'm Shannon, and we tape our show right here at Playback Recording Studio, a cutting-edge facility for film, television, and music production, located in the beautiful city of Santa Barbara.
Coming up, he's a craftsman, musician, and master violin maker. We visit James Wimmer. Trained in Germany, Jim brings a special talent through specially milled woods, formulated varnishes, and his own creativity to the construction of violins, violas, and cellos. Jim will also play for us, accompanied by award-winning Scottish guitarist Bob McNeil. Then it's off to Westmont College to find out more about the Siloam String Quartet. The foursome plays with violins, a viola, and a cello commissioned by the college and constructed by James Wimmer. It's a real rarity to have a full quartet commissioned. And mixing acoustic folk rock and chamber group style together, our featured band, The Way Much, will play for us later in the show.
So keep it here and keep it loud. We'll be right back. Santa Barbara Bowls Education Outreach provides much needed support for music and performing arts events and programs for area students. $1 of every ticket sold to bowl events helps to fund arts education throughout Santa Barbara County. A big thanks to Playback Recording Studio for supplying the location for BackBeat. Playback Recording Studio is a cutting-edge recording facility for film, television, and music production.
The violin is the smallest member of the violin family, which includes other members such as the viola, cello, and bass. Originally considered an instrument of low social standings, the violin was not a concert instrument initially. It has grown to be a very large part of most symphony orchestras. It has definitely raised its social standings. Many rock bands feature violins, like the Dave Matthews Band, Yellow Card, One Republic, and Coldplay. In fact, 3 classically trained cellists make up the Finnish heavy metal band Apocalyptica.
Thanks, Tucker. Love the factoid. So, Ellie and Audrey, I hear the violin is the most desired instrument to play. Why'd you two pick it up? Ellie?
Well, I was playing piano when I was younger and then decided to pick up the violin when I was in 4th grade, and been playing it ever since.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Audrey, how about you?
When I was 4, my older sister started playing violin, and so I went to all her lessons with her and just wanted to be exactly like her. So my mom let me have lessons too, and that's how it started.
Nice. Now, is there like a favorite concert you guys performed at? Or?
Well, we actually got to go on tour with our orchestra at Westmont to Austria and Hungary.
So we traveled through both the countries and played at famous concert halls for a couple weeks. So
it's pretty cool.
Sounds like an amazing journey.
It was awesome.
And since we're talking about violins and playing violins, he makes them, he plays them. Let's check out James Wimmer's place.
Well, you know, we're supposed to be a pretty serious crew, we violin makers, but behind the scenes we actually have a lot of fun. The difference between a fiddle and a violin. Well, sir, as you might know, a violin has strings on it, but a fiddle has strangs. You know, the violin's the one you don't want to spill your beer on. Or my friend Michael Doucet from the Beausoleil Band, he always goes, well, now, you know, you want to buy it as a fiddle and sell it as a violin. But seriously, there is really no difference. In fact, I have played Possum Up a Gum Stump on a very famous Stradivarius. You can play fiddle music on any instrument, and a good violinist, like for instance my friend Gilles, can take a crummy fiddle and make it sound great. Back in the 70s, I was a professional musician in Germany, and we toured a lot. 150 cities in 1 year, and after about 8 or 10 years that got really tiring. And like so many of the colleagues in the touring music business, we wanted to get out of touring but stay close to the music business. And of all my friends, I was really the most fortunate, and I was the only one who got a position as an apprentice in an instrument making shop of any sort. I was trying to become a guitar maker or a bagpipe maker or whatever. It worked out well because I'm a fiddler, and I ended up learning in a classical violin shop in northern Germany under the auspices of Mr. Wolfgang Übel. I trained with him for, about 3 years. I call myself the last of the great traditional apprentices because it was still under the old European guilds, much like your food purity laws and beer purity laws. It was quite a strict regimen of curriculum that you were expected to know. And so basically I was taught to make all instruments, everything from violin to bass. I basically immigrated back to America after, in essence, 16 years abroad. I knew Santa Barbara best because I went to school here, and all my friends were still here, so this seemed the natural place to move back to. And I moved here in 1987, and right off the bat just started making instruments. I've always seen myself as an instrument maker first and foremost, and as a restorer second. I guess it's just a matter of philosophy. My very first week here in town, I was visited by Stefan Craik, who was the original founding concertmaster of the Santa Barbara Symphony. Came by to introduce himself and show me his fine Italian violin. And he kind of offhand asked me if I also made violins, and I said, well, gosh, sir, yeah, here it is. And he played it for about 5 minutes and said, this is wonderful, I'll come back tomorrow and buy it. Imagine my surprise, because I knew Stefan Craik's name from when I was in college. He was the violin professor at UCSB. He's the guy that started me here in Santa Barbara. The clients for new handmade violins are just as widely varied as the type of people who are playing violins. A certain segment will go to classical players. I also have a great many folk musicians who play my instruments. I have instruments as far away as India. One of India's top violin players has one of these instruments like you see behind me. And they're all looking for something different. So as a classically trained violin maker, I think there's a big difference when you have hand-selected your wood. I literally get on the plane, go to Germany, go to a specialty tone wood dealer who specializes in Bosnian maple and European spruce. I select the wood myself, throw it all in baggage, bring it back here. Factory assembled instruments are often made very quickly, and because in particular the maple, when you carve it, these are actually sculpted from massive pieces of wood. And when you remove large quantities from maple, the wood moves, it'll twist and warp. No matter how long you've stored it, a 20-year-old piece will do this. And then when it comes time to make the instrument, I can look to see how the wood is moved and make corrections. And then I end up with a more stable instrument that doesn't have any internal tension. So if you can build an instrument that is tension-free, it's free to vibrate and give the maximum in tone and response. The varnishing process is really what makes an instrument successful. One of the common misperceptions is that, I got a spray booth back in the back, but actually I've just got little jars of varnish that I've made myself with my own top secret formula, of course, and everything is hand brushed. On some level, it's like painting an old violin onto a white canvas, because you see the wood itself is as white as the driven snow. It's quite problematic to really make an instrument look old, and it's a pretty long drawn-out artistic process. One might wonder how on earth is it that somebody like myself can possibly survive. I'm asked this question all the time. It's kind of a leap of faith, because by the time you've made, several instruments, the bank account has gone way down, and you kind of got to sell them. You got to get them sold. But it always works out. It's just the greatest. And then there is a blend also where you'll get commissioned to make specialty things. For instance, this quartet that I made for Westmont College. To my thinking, that's the violin maker equivalent of winning the Grammy Award or an Oscar, because it's quite rare to be commissioned to make a cello, a viola, and 2 violins, all from the very same pieces of wood, like matched dueling pistols or something. Thank goodness there are players out there who still prize handmade instruments, and they're a very good value compared to, say, 300-year-old handmade instruments. It's basically just been 23 years now, 24 years of good old solid work. The formula for success, I guess.
Here's a short note for you. While playing the violin, you burn 170 calories per hour. And keeping the faith. Get a look and listen to the inspiring sound of Westmont College's Siloam Quartet. Don't forget to check out the instruments. They're Wimmer.
So the string quartet, as a genre, developed really out of the 18th century. At first, what you got was a lot of kind of first violin heavy. So you had a soloist with an accompaniment. Around about Mozart's time, you had much more involvement. In the later part of Haydn's time, we're talking about 1700s, you had much more involvement with the lower instruments. By the time Beethoven's quartets rolled around, you had a very, very close involvement with each instrument getting the melody and supporting each other. So Beethoven was a big composer of string quartets, and then you moved along through other composers really through the contemporary period. Beethoven had such an important influence on not only orchestra but string quartets that composers wanted to emulate him. And composers nowadays will still look back to those early quartets by Mozart, Haydn, and Beethoven, and Brahms as the standard bearers of quartets. In orchestra, it's different because you have 8 other people playing the same part. In string quartet, you have 1 person on the part. And so the level of play is just much more exposed. And typically, it's a good environment for beginning players to learn because they have to listen to themselves. They have to blend. They have to learn that. They can't just hide.
It's a lot more intimate, and you have no room for error, really.
You get to make more of your own decisions and influence the music on a more personal level.
But it's also a great polishing kind of level for your more advanced players. So again, they'll have that extra level of sensitivity in terms of ensemble. They can then take that back to the orchestra.
Chamber music is also known as like a basis for playing an orchestra. If you play in an orchestra, you should always like have a smaller string ensemble to play in, because you just learn so much in a smaller setting of how to communicate musically with each other.
What I really like about chamber music is that you really get to work closely with a couple people, and it's more creative for you as a musician, and you get to share ideas and work through things.
Well, I've played in chamber groups where they have a clarinet, an oboe, a cello, a double bass, and a violin. And that's really fun. So all those different colors, we just involve all of those things under the kind of heading of chamber music.
More known as the Siloam String Quartet, and they've been together for about 4 years, the name of the quartet.
And in those 4 years, we've had a few players rotate in and out, but my sister and I have always been in the quartet, so we've kind of been the anchors, I guess, and the name has stayed the same with the various players.
And to have a group that's been together for, at least in terms of 2 or 3 members, for an extended period of time is virtually unheard of in schools.
Everyone's very much on their own and it's very individual, which I really appreciate. And it's just been such a joy to work with the other girls, and we have a lot of fun in the process.
You kind of create this special bond, and you almost know what the others are going to do before they do it, which is really what makes it different than orchestra.
Right now, one of the privileges we are getting to do is tour with the college to a bunch of fundraising dinners they're doing this year. And so almost every weekend we're flying out to Portland, Dallas, and Phoenix, and getting to do that, which that in itself is an honor.
It's just been an amazing thing to see them grow as musicians, both not in terms of they're playing in the ensemble, but also professionally. They plan for weddings, they play for all sorts of different events.
It seems like your suitcase never quite gets unpacked before you have to pack it again, but it's been really fun to get to play in different environments, different acoustically sounding halls.
Something that's really special for our school and for ourselves, and just the fact that we're a part of it is something we shouldn't take for granted.
Just the fact that they've been willing to partner in that and been enthusiastic about it, and just the overall corps d'esprit has been amazing. I'd like to say that is also a hallmark of Westmont students. I think it is. But they are really standard bearers in terms of what it means to be a Westmont student, what it means to be in a quartet.
So it's really special to be able to play together and play such advanced repertoire and just perform and do what we love to do by spreading this amazing gift.
A short note for you. The violin is the most popular instrument for children. It is also the most in-demand instrument at the professional level.
And this is the way the night feels on your 2 years older skin.
It's great to have you guys on the show.
Thanks.
It's a pleasure. Trevor, where do you guys come from?
Born in East Africa. Spent most of our lives there, but have moved around a little bit since then. Nice.
And this song you guys are about to perform, what does it mean to you? What significance is this song?
The song is a reflection on the time that we spent together on Whidbey Island a few summers ago. It's a beautiful place, and we have some beautiful and kind of important memories spent on Whidbey Island, so it's a reflection of that time.
Great. Jesse, the instrument you play, tell me a little bit about that.
Well, tonight I'll be playing the cajon, and it's actually a cajon I made. I've been playing hand percussion for about 7 years now, and ever since I started playing, I've started experimenting with making them. And so now I make everything from shakers to djembes to cajons, and experiment with more stuff as it comes along, and tap on everything I can. So.
This is the Way Much, and they're performing The Big Boat and a Bunch of Fir Trees. Check them out.
I can't tell how much he loves her. I lie scared in bed. There's an aching in my beating. Too many words I've left unsaid. But I really know nothing. When I sing sometimes it helps. And these are the days they say we'll remember. These are the sounds that will haunt you forever. This is the way the sun feels on your 2 shades darker skin. There's a pen on a pad of paper, letters to be written. It sorts through my eyes, I can see the lies, don't dare ask for healing. We said no more games of truth or dare let our youth just pass us by. Oh, but still you laughed, and still I asked you to dance, tried to waltz in the new sunlight. Oh, but I really know nothing. When I sing sometimes it helps. And these are the days they say we'll remember. These are the sounds that will haunt you forever. This is the way the sun feels on your 2 shades darker skin. And this is the day they say we'll remember. And this is the sound that will haunt you forever. And this is the way the night feels on your 2 years older skin. This is the day they say we'll remember. And this is the sound that will haunt you forever. And this is the way the night feels on your 2 years older skin. There's a pen on a pad of paper, letters to be written.
Well, that's it. I hope you enjoyed the show. And please remember to support music and musicians in your community. I'll see you next time on BackBeat. If you would like to be on BackBeat or have any ideas or interesting stories of people that make a difference in our community by using music, please go to our Facebook page and search SB BackBeat.